What's poppin', airplane collectors? Welcome back to another video. It's your host Ray. Today I'll be reviewing the Gemini Jets 1-400 scale American Airlines Airbus A321 in the stand-up decanter special livery. This model was announced sometime in late 2021, if my memory serves correctly, and it's only sold at the airplane shop, hence why it says the airplane shop exclusive. So that's pretty interesting. This review will consist of a short discussion of the box and then an in-depth discussion and analysis of the model's features. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you guys what I think of the model and whether or not I recommend it to other collectors. So let's start. So let's go over the box real quick. The box is your standard Gemini Jets narrow body box, sitting at 15 centimeters long, 15 centimeters tall, and 4.5 centimeters wide. So it's decently sized. The front of the box, of course, it's the model, the blue background, or not the model, but the CGI and all that good stuff. But here you can see the airplane shop exclusive, so they even put it on the box that this is exclusively from the airplane shop. And they also put up the stand-up decanter logo right here, so that's an interesting touch. I'll show you guys around the box now. So here's the bottom, right side, top, left side. Here's the back. The back is pretty normal, with the exception of a few differences here and there. Of course, there's the Gemini Jets false guarantees and social medias. And this Airbus licensed product logo, I'm not entirely sure if that's new, but it's the first time I notice it. And of course, there's also this airplane shop logo back here. So pretty much the same, but a few new additions, so that's quite cool. Here's what the underside of the flap looks like. Pretty much, there's just a short history of the Airbus A320 family, as well as some specifications for this aircraft. So read this for a moment if you'd like to. So here's the model. Let's get into some specifications. The model is 11.4 centimeters long, 9 centimeters for the wingspan, and it's about 3.1 to 3.2 centimeters tall. I didn't get an exact measurement because I just didn't try very hard. So it's accurate to 1-400 scale, and it's pretty small. Now I'll give you guys a quick 360 of the model, so take a look around it. Apologies if my fingers get in the way. So let's start this review at the front of the aircraft. So here it is. It looks pretty good. The nose shape looks kinda okay. It doesn't look the best, and neither does the cockpit window printing, but it's definitely better than what else Gemini Jets has pulled in the past, so I won't really complain. Let's move down the fuselage. Here's the huge American title. Something I just noticed actually is, for some reason, the American logo gets darker up here. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate, so form your own opinion with that information, but usually I see it color fade into a light white color. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Also, here's two A321 logos. Quite interesting to see those. But let's move down the fuselage. Everything looks good on the fuselage so far, and as we move to the midsection and the rear section of the aircraft, we can see all the arrows for the stand-up decanter. And it looks good still, except for one little paint chip here on this black arrow in the stand-up decanter here. Kinda sad to see that this happens, but oh well, I won't complain too much. Here's the vertical stabilizer. It looks pretty good so far. Shape looks fine, except for a few paint issues here. Well, that's not the shape, that's part of the paint. You can see a little red paint drop. It kind of bleeds into the gray here, as well as some other little stain. I'm not sure what this is. So there's a few quality control issues already. Here's the other side of the aircraft. This side looks just fine, so I'll show you guys this side and I won't provide much commentary. Let's start talking about the wings. The wings look pretty good. They're your standard Gemini Jets Airbus A320 family wings. A lot of engraved detail. Nothing to really complain about. A lot of printed detail as well. No quality control issues that I noticed. Something I did notice though was on the bottom of the right wing, for whatever reason, there is the number 894. I'm not sure what that means. It doesn't really correspond to the registration, so yeah, that was kind of fishy. Then again, it might be a small detail that's included on the real aircraft, so we'll see what's up with that. Now, something I'd like to talk about is the sharklets. So here's the left side sharklet, and it looks kind of bad in my opinion. The shape up here looks a little odd. It's just something about them just looks off. They look bent backwards too, so I'm not entirely sure what the deal is with that. They're bent backwards just enough to make it noticeable, but they're not anything extreme either. So, yeah, form your own opinion with that information. But aside from that, the outside of the sharklets look just fine. Here's the sharklet on the right side. It looks a bit better than the one on the left side. And here you can actually see a clear difference between the gray paint that corresponds to the fuselage and the gray paint that is on the wings. So that's a nice detail. But of course we have our issues. The inside of the sharklets are not painted, so here you can see that the paint of the wing matches the inner paint of the sharklet here. So that was quite irritating to see. Here's the other side too, and okay, I'm not sure what the deal is with the camera, but it kind of makes it makes it look as though they're different colors, but they're actually not, so that's kind of disappointing. Moving to the rear section of the aircraft, here you guys can see the horizontal stabilizers. They look pretty good in terms of detail, and there's a little something here, I'm not sure what that is. Looks as though there's a paint defect right here on the left horizontal stabilizer, so that's kind of annoying to see. And the wing flex on these is not great either. You can see they're very highly bent. They're very highly bent upwards. So the wing flex on these isn't too great. Here's the left engine of the aircraft. The engines look pretty good. They're a little bit oversized, but they still look okay, so that's nice. Here's what the fan blades look like. They look pretty decent. Here's the right side engine, and here's some of the printing on the inside of it. Overall, these engines look pretty good, so I have nothing to complain about with those. Let's talk about the antennas for a little bit. So there are 3 antennas on this model. There is one on the front of the aircraft, which looks good. There's one on the midsection or the rear of the aircraft. There's a Wi-Fi dome, and then here's the one by the tail. The 2 large ones at this one and the one at the front of the aircraft, those look good. They're attached nicely. There's no alignment issues. Wi-Fi dome looks okay, except there's a sizable gap between the dome and the fuselage. But this antenna back here appears to have been knocked backwards for whatever reason, but it's not loose either, so that's just a quality control issue. Here's the bottom of the aircraft. There's a decent bit of printed detail down here, which looks pretty good. I don't see any paint issues down here either, so pretty good overall. Now let's talk about the landing gear. So here's the nose landing gear. Looks pretty good. The wheel rolls smoothly, which is a first for Gemini jets. The wheels usually never roll these days. The wheels are a bit fat, or the wheel is a bit fat overall, but I won't complain. However, my main issue is with the main landing gear. If you guys have a good eye, these are completely twisted. I'm not sure what, I mean, they roll, but they're all messed up and twisted. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. You can see here better. So, yeah, something fishy happened here. I guess I'm going to have to do some modifications to get that to work. Yikes. And here's the cherry on top. The wing flex looks actually pretty good. They're not bent up except for the horizontal stabilizers. I talked about those earlier though. However, you can see the overall balance of the aircraft is pretty bad, and that cockpit window printing is lopsided. It's bending towards the left side of your screen, so that's pretty messed up. And of course, the balance is a little bit off due to the messed up gear probably, so that's a little sad to see.
For 5 minutes. Could you not be yourself? For 5 minutes!
Well, that concludes the review, and now it's time for my personal opinion as an airplane collector. Given that these things are being sold exclusively at the airplane shop for $60 a piece, plus $10 shipping, which is a grand total of almost $70, I honestly do not recommend this model to any collectors. NG Model has produced their own version, and from what I've heard, it's significantly better than this. So I'd recommend getting that one instead if you can find it anywhere. It's very hard to find, so if you can't find one, I guess you'll have to settle. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see that. So overall, I really wouldn't recommend getting this unless you do want some quality control issues and printing issues. But yeah, as I always say with Gemini Jets videos, it's completely randomized what kind of defects you're going to get. So if you want to take a gamble, go for it. But if you want to play it safe, I also recommend that course. But that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those down below. Tell me what you think of this video and anything I can improve on. And stay tuned for more airplane content. I'll see you guys later.